Yep, I'm back. Hey, I just got a text from Sally Pierce from Sulphur Springs, Texas, and she says, I haven't heard from you for a week. And so I said, yep, I'm just getting ready to get on and to do one. And so, Sally, where are you? Where are you? It's hot here today. And, well, no, it's not. It's really kind of nice. Hey, Linda, Todd. It was so good that you gave a shout out to Pastor Phil Neely. That's neat. I'll let him know. You know, we're connected in so many different ways that we really don't realize how much we're connected. You know, through this COVID and through our that video that we did about making sandwiches. Well, I had a cousin reach out to me that we haven't talked or anything since 2001. That's a long time, and we were raised together. We were best buddies when we were younger. We had matching sweaters, and we just loved each other. We still love each other. But it was good she called, and we visited for probably about an hour. And it was just great stuff. And she's sending me, she's a great artist. You can go to donnamares.com, Donna, D-O-N-A, Mares, M-A-R-E-S.com, and look at some of her beautiful work. So she's sending me some of her prints, and we're going to sell them, and the money's going to go towards helping provide some of the food that we've been providing for the area around here. So that I'm excited to get them, excited to put something together, to plan something. And in that, we started talking about my mom and her mom were, my mom was her mother's aunt, but they were really close in age, and they would laugh. They could do some of the craziest things, and life was just fun when you had those women around because you laughed all the time. And so I sent my cousin some pictures of our grandma. And I said, do you have a picture? And she said, no, I don't have it. She said, but I do have some pictures, and we need to get together and figure out. She doesn't know who they are, and so hopefully I can tell her who they are and how they relate. And anyway, we started talking about her grandfather. We didn't talk about him, but she sent me a picture of her son, and he looks like her grandfather. And I didn't know her grandfather. Uncle Floyd, that was his name. He was a bootlegger, come out of the hills of Kentucky. But before he died, he was in an accident, and he got really, really sick. And they said that he was on this bed, and they said his body got so hot and so red that you hardly couldn't even touch him. And he came out of this coma. And he said that God allowed me to go to the gates of hell. And I told God that you bring me back from this, and I'll serve you the rest of my days. Well, you know, we hear so many times about people going to heaven and seeing what heaven looks like. Well, my uncle got to go see what the gates of hell look like and came back. And I have always felt so close to that man. I've never met him. Man, I wasn't planning on this. I never met my uncle, but I heard that story. And I'd look at pictures of him and felt such a connection. And my mom took us back to Dawson Springs, Kentucky one time, and I stood where his store was, and I just wept. I just felt such a connection. And you know, as Donna and I talked, and we talk about different things, and we're planning on meeting and getting together, and we'll talk some more about different family things, it's genealogy. And you'd think back, does God care about genealogy? Yes, he does. Do you care about your genealogy? I hope so, because there's good stuff, there's bad stuff. I think back to after church, my parents would get together and they'd make ice cream with friends and sit and pick guitars and sing, and there was always fun when the family was together. Different things that didn't let it last a lot because there was a lot of just dysfunction in my family. But when it was good, it was very, very good. And when it was bad, it was horrid. And But I look back on that, and just like my Uncle Floyd was a bootlegger, my grandpa on the other side was a Church of Christ minister. My cousin and I, we have the same roots that go back to old Pentecostal roots from Kentucky. And those are important because we've been given a foundation. We've been given a foundation in our family. The Dillingham family is where our connection is. And that goes back, and we knew the foundation that we had. We were taught to believe in God. We weren't taught to have a relationship with him, but we were taught to believe. My grandma died in the 1918 flu epidemic. So there's a lot of history. And in thinking about that, I thought, there's a part in the Bible where even it's the ancestry of the nations. And it's in 1 Chronicles 1. And I opened it up and I want to read this to you. And it says, these genealogies are the official family records of the nation of Israel. They give us an overview of the history of God's work from creation through the captivity of his people. These records serve to teach the exiles returning from Babylon about their spiritual heritage as a nation, and to inspire them to renew their faithfulness to God. Although these lists show the racial heritage of the Jews, they contain the spiritual heritage for every believer. We are a part of the community of faith that has existed from generation to generation since the dawn of man. We belong to this heritage, the heritage that goes back to the creation of time, the creation of Adam and Eve. Once you've given your life to Jesus Christ and accepted him as your Lord and Savior, we're adopted in. This genealogy is our genealogy because we're adopted in. And just like through your family, and I hope that you have some stories to think back on, that you have some tradition, that you have some, that you know where your family came from. You might not, I was the kind of kid that I would just sit at my mother's feet and listen as the grown-ups talked. I never talked, but I always wanted to listen and hear the stories and learn about my family that I came from. I didn't do it on my dad's side, but my mom's side did it a lot. So that's so important that during this time of COVID-19, when people sometimes I've chose not to isolate myself. I just can't. Sorry, I can't. If I see people and they're okay with it, I'm going to hug them. I don't always wear my mask unless I'm around somebody that wants me to, and then I will, out of respect for them. But I've got too much Dillingham blood in me, is what we call it, because they were a tough people. They were coal miners. They come out of the hollers of Kentucky, and they had grit. And I have enough grit left in me that I have to live my life the way Jesus Christ wants me to live. And that's not in fear. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to cause hurt to anybody. If I was sick, I would stay home. But I need hugs. I need people around me. I need to know that we're in this together. So I, for one, refuse to isolate myself. We've had people over for dinner. We've had women over for simulcasts, just to love on each other and encourage each other and support each other. They can take a lot away from us, but one thing, they can't take your salvation away. They really can't take your freedom away. You can give it up, but nobody can take it. So it's up to you. Nobody can take your salvation away. So I'm going to encourage you through all this to press into your Lord and Savior. Give your life to Jesus if you've never experienced the freedom of knowing him. Accept the Lord as your Savior. And then think back. Be happy about where your roots go. Sure, I've got some ugliness in mine, but I choose to think about the good times and think about the, oh, gee, not everybody has bootleggers in their family tree, right? I got bootleggers on one side and Church of Christ pastor on the other side. No wonder I was a little screwed up for a while. Sometimes people think I still am, but that's the fun part. That is the fun part. I choose joy. And I choose to look at all the positive things that my family went through and all the things that they did, that I want to look at the good, not the bad. I want to, for my kids and my grandkids, to remember the fun me, not the sitting, fretting, worrying me. I want to be the fun me. So I'm going to say, be wise, be careful. Look at where your roots came from and where you came from, and how you can minister to your kids and show your kids and your grandkids and your family members joy, happiness. Make a sandwich. It's good. It really is good to make a sandwich. Lacey, I'm so proud of you. You did it, girl. Even when things were hard. Lacey was just finishing up getting her nursing certificate when COVID hit. And it hit her pretty hard financially. But she made it. And she did it. And I'm so proud. There's a woman with 4 kids and a husband that hasn't been feeling real good that did it. So I'm proud of you. So proud of you. Always hang on to the strength that you've got in you. You know, sometimes people think, oh, I've been called hard-headed. Yeah, I have. But you know, it's that hard-headedness for Jesus right now that keeps me going. So you can use that hard-headedness to do good. Hard-headedness is not always bad. So be hard-headed for Jesus. Be hard-headed to have some spunk and to have some smile and to have some laughter and show the joy of the Lord. You can do this. I know you can. If you're my friend, we're in this together. So let's be hard-headed for Jesus. Let's be happy and joyful. And yes, we can do it, and we will do it. Hey, Sandy Livingston. Yeah, we all need hugs. Lynette. Hey, I'm so glad you guys listen. I can't go back and see who else did it. But anyway, I love y'all. I just needed to take a break for a little bit and just press into what the Lord had me to share. So know that you can reach out to somebody. If I can get a phone call from my cousin I haven't heard from for 20 years, guess what? You can reach out and touch somebody. Be blessed. Have a great day. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay? Bye.